Hello Forest class, hello Matthew class, nice to see you again for today's maths lesson, for Tuesday's maths lesson. Today in our maths reception children we're going to carry on thinking about taking away, thinking about subtraction, and year 1 children we are also going to be thinking about doing some subtraction. Year 1 children, it's going to get a little more complicated, our subtraction, but really good for you to start doing what the reception children do first, to really practice counting back and practice some simpler subtraction. So on that counting back, let's do some counting back, because when you're doing subtraction, really important that you can count backwards really well, that you don't get stuck on any numbers. So we're going to start by counting backwards. We're going to start on 20 and then we're going to count backwards all the way to 0. So we're going to start on 20. So let's count backwards, looking at 20. Ready? 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Brilliant. Let's do it again. I'm going to put this down this time. See if you can just remember it. We did it looking at the numbers. Let's see if you can just remember it. It's going to start on 20 and count all the way back down to 0. Ready? 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Fantastic. Right, so we're going to do a little bit of subtraction now. I'm going to use a bus today to do some subtraction. So what I want you to do on your whiteboards, your grown-ups might be able to help you if they can, have a go at drawing a bus. You can do this by yourself. In the top bit, we've done this before, you need to have 10 windows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like a 10 frame. So draw that first and then draw your outline of a bus. So you need to draw a bus on your whiteboard and you need to collect, where's my hand, there it is, your 10 counters. I think you might have 20 in your pack, but we just need 10 of them today. So pause the video if you need to, draw a bus and get the counters that you need. Great, hopefully you've done all that. Let's count out our counters. I want you to count out line them down on your whiteboard, your 10 counters. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I've got 10 little counters and we're going to pretend that our counters are the people getting on and off the bus. So first of all, I'd like you to put all 10 people, all 10 counters on your bus. So each window should have a counter in it. We should have counted them onto the bus, shouldn't we? Let's do that again. Really good practice counting. Let's count our counters into the bus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So all your windows, I don't think I can show. Can I show you? No, can't show you. Can't get my iPad to bend that way. But on your bus, all of the windows should have a counters on them. So you should have 10 counters on your bus. We're going to get to a bus stop and I'm going to ask you to take some people away, so to subtract some people off the bus. And we're going to find out how many we've got left. So could you please, you've got 10 on the bus, let's take 2 away. So we've driven to the bus stop, stop at the bus stop, take 2 away please. 1, 2. I don't think I can write this down anywhere. I could have a go at writing on here, really small. So we had 10 people on the bus. we've taken away 2. We've taken away 2. How many have we got left? Should we count them together? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We are left with 8. We've got 8 left on the bus. Right, let's do another one. Let's start with 8. We'll start with 8 and see, and off we go, driving, off we go. Stops at the bus stop. So how many, can you check how many we've got on the bus? Count your counters, how many are on the bus? Great, there are 8 on the bus. Let's take away 3 of them. You count them out with me. Take away 3. 1, 2, 3. Let me write that as a number sentence. Let's do 8 subtract 3 is equal to, how many have you got left on your bus? Should we count them together? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 on the bus. Look, we are creating some number sentences. We're creating some number sentences from using the bus and the counters. So we've got 5 people left on the bus. Off we go. Off we go on the bus. Off we go. Stopped at a bus stop. Let's take away 1. Can you count it with me? Take away 1. 1. Should we write it as a number sentence? Oh, let's wait. We don't know the answer yet. So we had 5. We've taken away 1. How many have we got left? Can you count them with me? 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 4 left. Let me write that as a number sentence. 5 subtract 1 is equal to 4. We had 5 on the bus. 1 got off. Now we have 4. 4 on the bus. Off we go again. 4 on the bus. This time, can you take 2 away? Can you take them away? 1, 2. We've got 2. So we had 4 on the bus. First there were 4. Then 2 got off the bus. How many have we got now? Let's count them together. 1, 2. We've got 2. Let's write it as a number sentence. 4 children on the bus. 2 got off. So first we had 4. Then 2 children got off. Now we've got 2. Let's do one last one. How many children, how many counters, how many children have you got on your bus? 2. There are 2. 2 on the bus. Right, off we go. 2 on the bus. This time we're going to take away 2. So we've got 2 on the bus. We're going to take away 2. Count them with me. 1, 2. How many have we got now? Oh, how many? 0. There are no children left or no counters left. So we started with 2. First we had 2. Then 2 got off the bus. And now we've got 0. Now we've got 0. Well done. That was really good. What I'd like you to do now, lovely reception children, if you haven't done the worksheets from yesterday, so your grown-ups were sent some subtraction worksheets that you could have done. So if you haven't done those, have a go at those. If you can't do those, why don't you do some more buses? But when you're doing them, so draw your bus, have your 10 counters in them. When you've done each, so you can decide, can't you? So I've got 10 on the bus, 1 counter's going to get off. How many have I got now? When you've done it, I want you to write them as number sentences. So I've just put these here to remind us first, then, now. That's how we think about our number sentences. And then I want you to write the number sentence down. I wonder how many number sentences you can write for me using the bus. So maybe you had 10 on the bus, then 3 got off. How many would you have now? I'm not going to tell you the answers. And so see if you can have a go at writing some number sentences using your bus. And then you can have a go at the worksheets as well. If you can't print them off, you can always just look at them on the screen and write them down in your book, because they're all subtraction number sentences or pictures and number sentences. So you could have a go at just writing them out on your whiteboard or in a book if you don't have, if you can't print them out, which is fine. So that's what, reception children, that's what I'd like you to go and have a go at. Okay. Right, year 1 children. We're going to do some subtraction. We're going to be looking at slightly bigger numbers. And we are going to be looking at starting with numbers that are a bit bigger. So far, when we've done lots of subtraction, mostly we call this, what we call it crossing 10, which means when you subtract, you start with a number bigger than 10, and once you've subtracted your number is going to be smaller than 10. So that's what we're doing today. We're doing what we call crossing 10. So you would have a number sentence a bit like this. So the number that you start with is bigger than 10, so you might start with 15, and then you will subtract a 1-digit number, so you would subtract 7 or something, and then you'd find out what your answer is. Those are the sort of calculations we're looking at today. And we're just going to have a look. Yesterday when we were doing our adding, we were thinking all about making 10, because we know that once we get 10 is a really good number to be able to move from, because we're so good at our number bonds to 10. Finding that 10, whether you're doing adding or subtracting, is a really good idea, because we can get a really good picture in our head of what the answer is going to be if we've found that 10. So that's what we're going to have a go at. So I've got a little oh, you can't see it. I've got a little number problem here. So it says first, it doesn't say first, but it should say first, there were 13 jam tarts. Then 5 were eaten. Now there are, and we have to work it out. So let me read it again. First, there were 13 jam tarts. Okay. So that's what I'm starting with. So first, remember when we do that first, then, now. First, I have 13 jam tarts. So I need to fill in, I've got 10 frames here. They're really good for subtraction. So 13 jam tarts. First, my beginning, first, there were 13 jam tarts. I'm going to fill in 13. 13, really easy, because we know 13, we can partition 13 into 10 and 3. So really easy, I can just fill in my 10, because that's super duper easy. So let me remember, 10 and 13 is 10 and 3. So I need to do my next 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. First, there were 13 jam tarts. Then 5 were eaten. Now 13 subtract 5 is just a bit tricky. I don't know the answer. That's why I'm using my 10 frame to help me. But I do know, what I do know from looking at this, is I can subtract 3 really, really easily. I've got to subtract 5, but look how easily I can subtract 3. 1, 2, 3. I can subtract that easy without thinking about it. And then I think, how many more do I need to subtract in order to subtract 5? So I've subtracted 3. So I can keep 3 in my head, and I have to count up to 5, don't I? Because I need to subtract 5. So I've subtracted 3, 4, 5. And there's my answer. My answer is 5, 6, 7, 8. So first there were 13 jam tarts. Then 5 were eaten. Now there are 8. What I did there is I got myself to 10, because once I'm on 10, I know that I can really easily do the rest of it. Let me show you another one. So I'm going to write down what my problem is. So first, I'll still use jam tarts. You can use anything. There were 15 jam tarts. Then 8 were eaten. Now there are. Okay, I've left some of those on, but let me read it to you again. First, there were 15 jam tarts. I need a comma there, don't I? And then, I've lost. Then 8 were eaten. Now there are. Okay, what do I start with? First, then, now. Well, I start with first. First, there were 15 jam tarts, so I have to fill in my 15. Well, I can fill in, when I look at 15, I know that 15 I can partition into 10 and 5. So I can fill in my 10 frame really easily. So I can do 10, no problem. 15 is 10 and 5. So 10 and then 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First, there were 15 jam tarts. Then 8 were eaten. So I've got to have 8 eaten. So I've got to subtract 8. Well, look, I can subtract 5 super easy. Just boom, off they go. Don't even have to think about it. I subtract 5. Off they go. Now I've got to make sure that I've subtracted enough because I've got to subtract 8. So I can hold 5 in my head and count on to 8 because I know I've got to subtract 8. So 5, 6, 7, 8. I've subtracted 8. So let me read it. Let's read our problem. First there were 15 jam tarts, then 8 were eaten. Now there are, how many have I got now? Got 5, 6, 7. Now there are 7. There we go. Lovely Year 1 children, I would like you to have a go at thinking of some of your own first, then and now stories using the 10 frame to help you work it out. It's a bit tricky, isn't it? A bit tricky.